Hey guys, let's chat. Hello everyone and welcome to this video of our first review of a movie, which is Detective Pikachu. I am your host, Dinkaro, and with me is the professor and Thanatos the Thanatos.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's get this started. I know we kind of late from when the movie was super hyped and all that stuff, and it's a cool thing to make a review within a week. But some of us decide to watch the movie like after a week and all that stuff. So we gotta get everything ready. And besides, now we have the opportunity to actually spoil the movie because we gave it enough time for everyone to see the movie. So
basically, that's his way of giving a spoiler warning, as in if we have to talk about plot points, we will.
And one more thing, there will be some spoilers of the Detective Pikachu game. So if you haven't played that, go play it now. Unless you don't care too much about it, but you'll be spoiled anyway.
Yes. So let us begin. Let's start off with you. Let's start off with you, Thanatos.
With you, start off with the person who knows about the game.
You know this is not my memory. You have to tell us what you think of it first before we tell you what we think.
Because we're coming at it from a pleb's point of view. We only watched the movie.
I haven't played the game, but you have.
Nope.
So,
go ahead. Lead the discussion, leader.
Fine.
Chosen one.
Okay, fine. I'll start. Okay, to start off, I think the movie was pretty well done. It actually does pay respect to the resource of the series. Excuse that noise, that was something.
Just a drug deal gone bad, it's fine.
Yes. Anyways, what I was saying. Yes. Source material was spot on. There's some part of the CGI I can complain about. I do have some of my problems, I believe they kind of use too much of the flashback things. If they want something to answer, they use the whole hologram flashback to explain. That's something that was not present in the game, actually. But yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds did pretty well in his role as Pikachu. Tim Goodman, I don't know the actor who plays him. Don't know his name. But I would say that he is more well developed in Justice Smith, there you go. He's more developed here in the movie than he is in the game. Well, both version he's just a wait, so you get more. So they get more development. So Detective Pikachu can get more development, but the movie goes on explaining his family, why he kind of have this hatred for being a trainer, or why he doesn't want to be a Pokemon trainer, whereas the game is oh, I'm here, I'm looking for my dad. I'll be honest with you guys. Because I was following the game, I expect some things to follow the game path, but the reveal of who was the main villain actually caught me off by surprise, as the villain from the game and the villain from the movie is not the same.
Can you explain more what you mean by that? So in the movie we had the villain was Howard Clifford, played by Bill Nighy.
Yeah.
He was originally seemed like he was one of the good guys, and then he was revealed to be the one behind everything, trying to control Mewtwo and transform everybody into Pokemon. How is it in the game?
In the game, it was Roger Clifford. The
The son?
the son, the one that he said, "Oh, that guy is a bad guy."
So the son was the villain in the
The son was the villain of the game, and I think for those who actually saw the game, who actually played the game, going to the movie, that's a little bit of a nice twist because it's giving you something new instead of following the same path of, yeah, this is the bad guy. Here's the thing. Also, the whole reasoning behind R and what the bad guy wants is different as well. But I'll save that. I'll
Also,
pass on.
now that you've gotten through the plot, there was something you mentioned that I want to just kind of rewind back to. You said something about the fact that they use flashbacks.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I could kind of like stick up for that a bit because the thing is with Detective Pikachu, it's supposed to be like a murder mystery without the actual murder. And the thing is with like old detective movies, which it clearly shows that's where the inspiration is from. Like detective movies and just crime dramas and stuff, you really can't go in a linear path where you do the timeline stuff. You have to do the flashback thing because you have to reveal stuff little by little. Because like think about it, like if you go from the beginning of the incident and then go through there, like you already know what happens, and the whole point of the movie is trying to figure out what happens. So the use of like flashbacks, like for instance, we keep getting the main one we kept getting over and over was the car crash itself, and it's when Tim's dad and Pikachu get shot off the road, and we kept seeing that multiple times throughout the movie. It kind of established itself as being very important to the plot, which I mean, like because it's a kids movie, that's pretty obvious. Most detective crime things that like does that, it's not always that obvious, but like there will always be like something showed over and over. Now with that, like because we kept getting it from different angles was the point of it until we came to the conclusion that it wasn't actually Mewtwo who blew up the car. It was him actually stopping the actual Pokemon that blew up the car, which were the Greninja. So, like, it's basically there to show you that, like, when it comes to, like, mysteries, not everything is as it seems. And for me, I personally liked it a lot because it was, like, a point of excitement. Because it's, like, from the first time they showed it, I was like, okay, maybe there's something not right about this scene. And then, like, as you watch the movie, you keep getting clues, but, like, the clues are not really out there. Like, one of the biggest clues that you get, it kind of harkens back to the fact that this particular Mewtwo is the same Mewtwo from, like, what is it, Kanto region?
Kanto region. Could be from Cinnabar Island.
Yeah.
Well, it pretty much that's the only one it could be because they say it escaped from Kanto region. So from there, you can conclude that, like, okay, well, if this is supposed to be the one from Kanto region, the conclusion we have for that one that it kind of, like, gave up its whole hatred for humanity shit. Oops, didn't you say? Whatever,
It doesn't matter.
Well, it gave up the whole hatred for humanity thing and was just trying to be more peaceful, but it got recaptured, obviously. So the question then becomes, why then would it be on a rampage and want to kill Tim's dad? Now, that we get that answer throughout the movie, and it becomes a red herring, which is an important word to remember when you deal with any type of like crime or like detective type movie.
Yeah. Personally, I agree with Thanatos. Thanatos Tosti, I think that's what they call it. Yeah. I think this was a good way of showing and not telling. A mistake that many movies make in some shows, looking at Game of Thrones sometimes, is you tell us too much about what's going on, but you're not actually showing that things are happening. For example, if you told me that somebody's going crazy, don't just tell me that person is crazy, show me that the person is crazy. Yeah, shout out to Daenerys. Okay. So same thing with Pokemon. Same thing with the Pokemon Detective Pikachu movie. This was, I think that using holograms to show the car crash was an ingenious way of showing the past without having to do flashbacks. Because it's not really a flashback. It's a flashback that's not really a flashback. because it is a hologram of what happened in the past, which I think is much better than you showing a scene of what a person is imagining in the past. So I have to disagree with Linkar on this one.
Well, also, you gotta remember, in that scene when they first bring out the hologram, they do have another major clue that this scene is not complete. Where they literally say, I don't remember the exact quote, the exact lines, but Howard, right?
Yeah.
Literally states that, like, sometimes just seeing a replay isn't enough. You have to just be able to see it, like, the whole scene. And so, which kind of tells you already, like, there's something more to this than we're being told. So, yeah, again, I'm agreeing with Ed on the point of the flashbacks or holograms. I still think it worked really well. I always like it when shows do that. And I might be a little bit biased because, like, one of my favorite movies is Pulp Fiction, and it has a similar but yet more drenched in that concept. So, like, I like it. I like the idea of, like, rewatching a scene and realizing, oh, that was happening at the same time, or oh, that was going on in there. It feels good, and it makes you feel like more smarter when you see, well, like, as you're going, you're solving the mystery, yourself alongside them, rather than, like he said, it's telling you, like, oh, you know, it could have easily just told you, yeah, Mewtwo's not a bad guy, but it was more fun to figure out that Mewtwo's not the bad guy. Like, it's more fun to, like, and I think that's a great way to keep, especially kids, engaged with a movie, is to make them think about the movie rather than just show them something on screen that's just flashing information. And, like, and maybe I'm wrong about it working for kids, but I know it worked really well for me. And because I'm giving this a positive review, and you know my feelings towards Pokemon in general.
Maybe I should kind of reword myself. It's not the flashback that I have issue with, is the whole hologram. I feel like the hologram kind of like is an easy way out to see the flashback, and like, okay, we could use this to figure out what's truth and what's not true. I feel like it could have, like, if they wanted to do the flashback, they could have do something else, like maybe a voice like a voice diary instead of a hologram diary.
But then that would be dulling and not showing.
that would be telling again.
Yeah.
Like, on it.
So, like, these were options. Either you tell and don't show, which is like just voice recording.
Yeah.
Use a hologram to show and don't tell. Or go back in time and show what people are thinking. Like an actual real flashback. Show them that tell but don't show, I don't think would have been good. Because voice recording is just total show. Going back in time and seeing how people thought about the event, it's the usual flashback, and that would have been boring. But the one of using holograms, now we know that all the characters are actually seeing what happened. So that way they see the flashback themselves, and it's not just a flashback that one character is having and then he or she has to communicate to the rest. By showing us a hologram, all the characters in that area can actually see what happened on this flashback. And I think that's a plus compared to your the other possibility of a character thinking what happened in the past, because then he's going to have to tell the characters what happened, and that's just redoing it twice. One where he sees it, and another one he's telling the other characters, and he's basically redoing the scene twice, because now the people, the audience, already know the information because they see it on the flashback, and now it's repeating the same information again because now the character has to inform the other characters, and if you have to keep doing that with every character, it gets repetitive.
And then there's also, like, the idea of, like, you gotta think of it like this. What's the one major thing, like, and this is just a question. What's the major thing that is the most talked about when it comes to Detective Pikachu, and the thing that's kind of got Sonic in the most trouble right now?
The how the character looks.
So visuals.
Yeah, the visuals.
So, and that's the thing. It's because movies are a visual medium. So the idea of them doing voice recordings and you just hearing it, like, even as an adult, that would tune me out. Like, I honestly wouldn't be sitting here saying that, like, I like the movie. Because I'd probably be like, man, that was boring. Because, and if, as me as an adult, like, I wouldn't be into it. Think about it again. This is a movie for kids. They're not going to want to sit there and be lectured at about what happened. They want to see it for themselves. They want to see with their eyes what's going on. They want to, and like he said, like, the hologram is a perfect way to do it because it's a perfect blend of the mediums of show but not tell, and tell but not show, and it's a perfect blend because basically what you have is you have not only us as the crowd seeing it, like he said, the whole, like, everyone seeing it, and all they have to do is keep that in their memory. So when we're rewatching that scene over and over, it's a scene that we are confident that everybody in the timeline or everybody that's important to solving this has already seen. Like, we know Pikachu saw it, we know Tim saw it, we know Howard knows what actually happened, and which honestly, when we get to the plot twist, I'll be 100% honest, I had already figured out the plot twist before we got there. Because, like, just at that scene itself. But anyway, that aside, but like, when you have something like that, where not only you're able to see the visual, but you know the characters see the visual, like, you yourself can start piecing things together and you can be like, oh my god, they should know this. Why aren't they getting this? Why didn't they catch this? And then when their characters start, like, piecing things together and you realize that you were right too, like, it's a much better feeling than being like, oh, well, you know, maybe they're just not remembering it right. Because also another thing that kind of gets annoying is when they show, like when movies or shows show, like, a memory as from one person's perspective, and then they show it from another person's perspective, and both perspectives are different, and, like, they have different details or something. No, this one there's no disputing the details. There's nothing to be had. There's no he was wearing a blue shirt. No, he was wearing a black shirt. No, it's, you see it right then and there, and, like, it gives you something. A visual gives you something that, like, vocals can't. That's why we have the phrase "a picture's worth 1,000 words," because seeing it for yourself can tell you a lot more of the story than hearing a voice recording. And besides, what kind of voice recording would it be? What would have recorded it? Like, it would have just added another Deus Ex Machina plot device to a movie that has characters that are themselves Deus Ex Machina plot devices, and i.e. the Pokemon themselves.
But let's talk about the visuals. I think that's way more interesting than flashbacks, right? Like,
yeah, a little bit. I mean, we got enough mileage out of the visual, the flashback thing. We can start talking about the actual visuals.
Yeah, this is, I think, where the movie did great. And even if the story, I give it a 7 out of 10. The story was entertaining. It's obviously not the best story ever.
Yeah.
But it was probably the best adaptation of a video game I have seen. And it was thanks to the visuals. That's where the movie did a really great job of showing these Pokemon and making them seem realistic. I saw these Pokemon, and with the majority of them, there were a few misses. But with most of them, I thought, yes, this is what it would probably look like in real life. Now, of course, you cannot make them 100% realistic. It's an impossibility because of how they are designed.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw the Charizard, it didn't seem out of place. True. When I saw the Bulbasaur, it didn't seem out of place. Mm-hmm. It felt like something that the characters could touch and interact with in a realistic manner. Not something that was just put into it by CGI and that the characters couldn't interact with.
Yeah. And Tim at least pet the Pikachu. It's Jon Snow.
The Gyarados scene.
Oh, like, yeah, a lot of the Pokemon looked really cool. Like it's so funny because everybody I talked to about the movie always mentioned how much I love how the Gengar looked, and everybody I've talked to was like, I don't remember there being a Gengar, and I'm like, he was in the cage fight scene, he was fighting Blastoise, and they're like, I don't remember that, and I'm just like, why? But like, it's great, and that just kind of brings the point of like, there's so many good things happening all at once that this movie will take a couple of times to watch it to in order for you personally to see everything that's going on, because like you might be talking to your friend and you'll be like, hey, did you see that Pokemon doing this? And then your friend will be like, no, oh, I was paying attention to this in that scene. Or did you catch this reference? No, I was looking at this reference. Because it's like any part of the screen you're looking at, something is happening, and it may be minuscule to the story, but visually and in the world of Pokemon, it is a major sight, and it's really cool to see. Like, it keeps you agape. Like again, back to the Gengar. To me, that was like the center of the thing because that was the cage match. So, like, to me, I'm like, I don't understand how people missed it, but several people have told me they missed the actual Gengar, and like. And I'm like, well, I don't know how he was the one who beat the I believe he beat Blastoise, right?
Yeah,
he won.
He beat
Yeah.
Blastoise.
But yeah, I'm like, that should have been your major thing. That's what it should have been seen. But like, they started bringing up other stuff that I didn't see or something, and like, it's just really cool that like this world was so fleshed out visually and just made to look like I don't know what's the city called? Not Metro
Rhyme
City.
City.
Why did I was Metro
Rhyme
City?
Rhyme City.
Rhyme City. I don't know what Rhyme City looks like in the game, but I could easily see the layout of the Rhyme City from the movie being adapted or being in the game. Like it easily feels like a game environment.
Yeah. I've been doing like throughout the movie. I just been trying to catch how many Pokemon I can visually see. Good thing about it is that they are not limited to just this Gen 1. They could just take Gen 1 and call it a day. But the fact they use all of the gens really pleases me.
And then the idea of seeing a Pokemon doing things like normal animals or people would be doing, like when you're like. And also just the contrast, the thing that I found that was really fun was the contrast of like the Pokemon where Tim grew up. Like, you know, they're clearly wild animals, like they're birds of flocking, like a flock of pigeons or whatever. Cubone's like just crying, like they're acting like wild animals in that scene. And it's just like, okay, well, you know, this is what we know Pokemon as. This is what me, the person who's never played Let's Go Pikachu, or no, not Let's Go Pikachu. I haven't played that either. But Detective Pikachu. But like, as a person who hasn't played that game, I didn't really know any of the history of Rhyme City or what was going on there. But so I got to see how I know Pokemon to behave, and it was really a cool visual. And then like the nice little segue of the train ride, and it tells you shows you how Rhyme City is going to be, and you're just like, okay, it doesn't show you a lot, but it shows you enough to be like, okay, this is going to be something different, I guess. And then you get there and you see just how different it is, and it's like a really huge contrast from the country to the city. And I just thought it was a fun thing. Like, it seems small, I know, but like to me, that was just a fun thing for the movie to do.
I'm looking here at the count of how many Pokemon were in the movie. According to the director of the movie, Rob Letterman, he lost count, so this number might be low. He counted at least 54 Pokemon in the movie. That's 54
ridiculous.
Different species.
That's ridiculous when you consider it.
I'm gonna try to see if I can rent the Blu-ray or DVD. Do we still use DVD these days?
Yeah, we still use DVD.
Okay, and then I'll try
the Blu-ray first.
Yeah, and then try to see how many Pokemon species of Pokemon there are.
And this is the impressive thing. 54 species, the vast majority of them look good. I said the vast majority of them look good because I didn't like the Charmander too much. I thought it looked too much like plastic. But that's really a subjective opinion. For some other people, it might have looked realistic. Yeah. And this is why it's so impressive. Another movie that's going to come out sometime this year, the Sonic movie, they only have to deal with one CGI character.
Next year.
Next year?
It got moved up.
Oh, it got moved up. Okay, good. Yeah. It only has to deal with one CGI character, and it looked like trash. So much so that they have to remake the character. Pokemon had to work with 54 at least different species. And for them to look good, most of them,
Yeah.
That's highly impressive. It's very difficult for me to think of a movie that's going to top this level of CGI.
They actually got like someone who actually knows their Pokemon to be on set and say, okay, that's how this Pokemon looks like. They actually study real life animals to see how they behave, and they took that part and mesh it with the Pokemons themselves.
And, you know, the other impressive thing about it, for me personally, the Pokemon that I saw that I thought their visuals were unsettling. In the Pokemon game itself, those Pokemon are just unsettling anyway. Like Ludicolo. I don't care what no one says, he's always been creepy looking. And then when he shows up in the bar, he's really creepy looking. And it's like, okay, that fits. Mr. Mime, same thing. Always been a really creepy looking Pokemon. Showed up in the movie, creepy looking Pokemon. Like, the Apoms. Everybody says they're cute. I always thought they were weird looking. But, like, even in the movie, like, some of my friends were, oh, no, they were adorable. I was like, no, they're just weird-looking little monkey things with no fingers. But, like, so I feel like, yeah, there were some that I was like, and there were, like, the vast majority of them I was in awe of. Like, but, like, and the ones that I wasn't, they're not Pokemon that, like, had me in awe in the games anyway. So, to me, it feels fine. It feels like they did it right.
And it was mostly the ones that didn't look so right. They were just the side ones.
Yeah.
The ones who drive the story: the Pikachu, the Mewtwo, the Ditto, the Charizard,
The
Torterras, the Bulbasaur, that Shuriken Pokemon. What's it?
Greninja.
Greninja looked really cool.
Those I love it.
They were well made.
He was really cool looking.
I love the Greninjas.
They look exactly as I would expect them to look if they lived in a real life setting.
Yeah. Like one of the friends I talked to, they were like kind of like taken aback by the tongue. They were like, oh, that's kind of gross. I was like, well, it's always been his tongue. I don't know what you were expecting. It's a tongue. Because, like, in case, like, some people don't know, the scarf, quote-unquote scarf that he has wrapped around him is just his tongue. So, like, the movie, and then when it moved, it had, like, a little sloshing noise, like, you know, like you would imagine, like, Venom's tongue would sound. And, like, in the movie, it had, like, a sliminess to it, but he's a frog, you know, so of course he's gonna have a coating of slime to it. It was really good. I thought, personally, I don't know if people would disagree. I'm sure there are people who will disagree, but I'm sure I got people who will take my side on this, but I thought Greninja looked amazing for what he was supposed to be. Like, and then the fact that he was billed as supposed to be a threat, like, I felt that threat. Like, you could feel that threat in him. Like, you could feel like if he caught up to them, they were probably 6 feet under. Because he just looked like he was about it. Like, and I was into it. I dug it. I loved that chase scene. It was very, like, horror movie-esque. It did it for me. I'll just say that much.
Good thing that Lucy had a level 100 Psyduck to help them.
And Psyduck was pretty cool.
Psyduck was good. I like the chemistry between Pikachu and Psyduck.
Which is funny to say, you know, chemistry. The comedic chemistry between CGI creatures was really good. Like, that's crazy. And because I agree. Like the scene, especially in the car. Like, I never thought I would say that Psyduck was adorable, but it was kind of adorable. And, like, it just was, I don't know. I just thought it was a really cool gimmick that they went with to put the Psyduck in, because of the whole idea that if Psyduck, you know, gets a migraine, it could cause, like, all types of problems. And, like, so that in and of itself, while comedic, was in and of itself a looming, like, threat. And I think at some point, like, during the fight with the Greninjas, it actually does its little Psyblast thing. I don't know what that's called, but, like, the psychic energy, Akira shit.
Linkaro, is Psyduck in the game?
No.
Okay, then this was a great addition, because many people who come to watch this movie, they remember Pokemon from their childhood. And Psyduck was a central part of the very first season.
Yeah.
So having it there draws audiences.
Yeah, and let's be real. What do you think they were trying to reference with a redheaded character with a side up?
Obviously, Misty.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, and that's gonna be something people latched on to because I don't know too many people who didn't like Misty.
I could tell you this: Psyduck was not in the game. Lickitung was not in the game.
Oh,
Mr. Mime
Lickitung
was not
scene.
in the game.
Mr. Mime was not in the game.
No,
that
Mr.
seems
Mime.
like something that should be in the game.
Oh my god, that was
No.
also a really good
We
addition.
forgot about the Mr. Mime.
The interrogation scene with Mr. Mime was really funny. That was honestly one of the funniest things that I've ever seen. It was really good. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it. I'm glad that the trailers didn't spoil everything about the Mr. Mime, because that's usually what the trailer does. They give you like, here's this whole scene that's gonna be funny. Yay! Now you've seen the best part.
Yeah. But like, and even if they would have, like, honestly, the movie had a lot of good parts that carried it. Like, just Ryan Reynolds in general, a lot of his quibs in it helped it. That licky tongue scene was funny. Like the "please don't lick me" thing. It's great. And again, another character with a tongue that, like, you know, people were like, oh, it's adorable in the game, and in real life it looks horrific. Because of course it would. It has a long tongue hanging out. Like, of course it's gonna look disgusting.
I don't think I ever seen anybody call Lickitung adorable.
There's been some more casual players that I've met that do. Also, I know we're rolling high now right now with this talking about the best parts, but you know, with every review and with every joy, there always comes the problems, which I think. I mean, we could go back to talking about what we liked about the movie, but I think it's important to address any issues and concerns that we all had, like, with the movie. And or Professor, I think it's appropriate that you start because you're the one who I recall saying that you would give the movie a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, so it's basically time to start shading on the movie. So don't put too many dislikes buttons. This is an important part of our critique.
Yeah.
First, let's start with the acting. So far, we have said that Ryan Reynolds did a good job, and that's 100% true. But notice that we haven't talked about the other actors.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have done a better job expressing their emotions. For example, Justice Smith as Tim Goodman, I think he did fairly decent job. Decent, but I think he could have done better. Same thing with the actress.
He was very one note. Is the
yes.
Was.
If there's a sequel, I hope that they improve their acting so they can bring more emotion into the character. They can do much better than this. Very sure about it.
Well, Tim Goodman in the game was very one note as well. So.
Yeah, but see, in a game it's very different from a movie, because in a movie the actor has to show certain emotions that are invested in this. With this character, with Justice Smith, the actor, it was a bit difficult to buy that he really believed what was happening. Especially, for example, his meeting with Pikachu. It didn't seem like he was buying it. That was one of those parts that slightly took me out of the movie for a bit. He should have sounded more scared. He should have sounded more concerned that there was a speaking Pikachu right in front of him.
And he kind of rebounded from it really quick. This is another big problem.
Yeah.
Like, I think pacing. Actually, if we really want to get to that, it's not just the acting, it's pacing of the movie. Like, things seem to move. Some things that should have been lingered on and, like kind of, like, allowed to, like, be chewed on a bit more. Like, it was moved by really quick. Like, that scene when he first meets Pikachu was moved on. It moved on to the Apom attack pretty quick. But then you had scenes that were, like, kind of like, okay, I get it, and they should have just cut it off at a little bit at a certain point, but they let it go on more. Like the scene where him and Pikachu are bonding. It was a really good scene, don't get me wrong. I liked it, but the thing is, after a while, you get the point. Like, I liked him telling Pikachu the story of, like, what happened with about, like, why he doesn't want Pokemon and all that. And I like Pikachu, like, kind of pep talking him and everything. But it lingered on like, starting that a little too much. And then lingered a little bit after it a little too much. And then, but, like, and it's like a thing where it's like, it's a nice scene because it shows, like, growth and development and change in the character, but there should have been like something else that like kind of like continued on the growth rather than just be that. And then again, back to that really quick pacing and moves on to the next thing really fast. Like after lingering on this scene for a really long time, it's no real payoff to it other than okay, they're friends now. And then it's like, all right, now we're on to the next thing. All that really it mattered, but we're done with that.
We also probably needed more development of the villain, Howard Clifford. So when we find out that he's the actual villain, it will hit the audience a bit harder.
Yeah,
I think he was underdeveloped on the movie. In a way, I understand there's so much you can do in a movie that's about 2 hours long or so.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, but they could probably still have, developed him a bit more.
And
show a few more scenes with him.
And they kind of played him up as being a good guy too much, that it was really obvious after a while that he was going to be the villain. Like, I feel like, again, they should have scaled back on all the good stuff that he did. Show more scenes with him and his son. Show him, show some more behind the scenes type scenes. Like, show more about the Clifford family. Like, just a little bit. We don't need to know their family history, just enough to understand that, they both have different sides to them. Like, you don't have to have Howard Clifford being a total D-bag or whatever, but, have him drop the facade just a little bit and just be like a regular, tired old man. Just kind of like, I'm like, content type thing.
Kind of like what they did, like, doing this when Tim entered the studio, like, both Howard and Roger were doing, like, a news show that after they start fighting.
Yeah,
they could have did more with that.
They could have did a lot more with that because honestly, it didn't do enough to make the son a red herring. All we got from that was the son's kind of a D-bag or kind of a jackass. It didn't really tell me that he was a villain.
Yeah,
which was what we were obviously meant to believe. Now again, it's a movie for kids, so it's easier to make kids believe the character's bad. Because they'll see him being mean to his dad and be like, oh, he's a bad guy. But for me, personally, I feel like it could have gone a lot further of having him have a more kind of, uppity persona. Show him caring, even less. So it makes it seem like he's the type of person who could do this. Which, for me, it, I kind of was like, no, there's got to be something else to this. When I saw him in a car pressing buttons and it releasing all the Pokemon to go after Tim and his in the chick, what was her name, Lucy? Personally, I just think that anyway, but that's just me personally. But I do think it would have benefited more having the Clifford family being developed just a tiny bit more and just show their relationship just a little bit more than they did. And so we can understand more. Because, the switch at the end was really abrupt.
Honestly, I thought when they did the whole switch, I thought that both the Cliffords were actually working together.
Same.
I thought that too, yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
That's another thing. It was never really fully shown that they are polar opposites in any way.
It seemed to me they were working together, but they showed us that it was a little...
It was a ditto, and Howard just uses Roger's excuse as a way to win Tim over to his side.
Yeah, see.
I think this movie is more about hey, look, Pokemons, and we can make them realistic more than just here's an actual A+ story go forward.
Yeah, and since they're working on a sequel, I really hope that the sequel, now that they show that they can make a Pokemon movie that doesn't suck, that they build more on the story. For example, one thing that's left unanswered at the end of the movie is the main character, Tim, going to become a Pokemon trainer or not. But at the end of the movie, he still has no partner. Because that Pikachu belongs to his father.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and he still needs to catch his own Pokemon. That's something that we saw at the very beginning of the movie, and he never makes another attempt of trying to catch something. Mm-hmm. Understandable for the movie, but that's something we can develop more in a sequel.
Yeah. In fact, Tim really doesn't have any type of real conclusion. Honestly, the way I see it, Detective Pikachu, the conclusion, is more about his dad's conclusion. It's more, and this could be just speaking about Ryan Reynolds as an actor, how he just kind of like comes on and just chews up the whole scenery, and since he's like one of the main characters, you feel like more it's Pikachu and Tim Dad's story, but like I feel like Tim didn't really get his own anything. Like it's nice that he got his father back. It's nice that he came to a realization that like the way he acted before is not necessarily a good way to have been acting, and he decided to stay with his dad for a bit. That's nice, but like as far as a conclusion or like a concerto or whatever it's called, like ending for a main hero, it was kind of weak. Like it would have been nice if after that time skip, we see Tim sitting there, and let's say some Pokemon, like maybe a Cubone, because nice little circle. Cubone walks from behind him, and that's his Pokemon now, and like then you get his dad, or even if he gets a Pikachu of his own or something, just to show that like Tim has made more progress, like he's actually deciding to do something. The one semblance of anything that we do get is that he might be a detective in the future, because he did mention that he would he'd like the idea of working at the detective agency, and Pikachu agreed with his little joyous Pika Pika, and the dad confirmed that he agreed. So it's like, I get that there was an ending for him. Like, I'm not saying that they didn't give Tim any type of conclusion. Like, they just left him out in the cold. No, I just think it wasn't solid enough.
Yeah,
like, because I was going in through a game point of view, I never really thought about like how unconclusive the ending was, because all I could think about is the movie has a conclusion. The game doesn't have a conclusion. But now that I'm hearing all this, I'm like, you're kind of right. Like, in a movie perspective, Tim himself hasn't have like a conclusion to his own.
Yeah, when I saw the ending of the movie, to me, he did say he was thinking of maybe being a detective, but it seemed to me like he wanted to spend more time with his father, which is good. Yeah, but that still, for me, leaves open the question: do you want to be a Pokemon trainer, which he has shown throughout the movie that he could be by giving Pikachu instructions and he knows the moves and he knows the weaknesses, or does he want to be a detective and follow his father's footsteps? So here we see two divergent paths that he could take, and I think that's something that might be explored, should be explored in a future movie.
Yeah, I think it's like the way it ended gives it more like a conclusion between a father and a son bond, trying to fix that relationship.
See, but that's nice, but then it leaves a lot of like other plot holes, plots that we were given earlier. It leaves those open, like wide open, and it's just like, Tim's always wanted to be a Pokemon trainer. Something tragic happened and it stopped him from doing it. Well, the tragedy being that his mom died on, which I'm assuming that night was supposed to be like his first, like probably getting his start at Pokemon or something.
And his dad leaves.
Yeah. And so like it's clear that like Pokemon training, he had a passion for it. That passion died because something traumatic happened. But it's like I would have liked to seen whether he got over that traumatic event, or whether or not he's still kind of like standoffish on the Pokemon trainer aspect. Because we do see throughout the movie that he's warmed up to the idea of Pokemon. He warmed up to the idea of having a partner, which at that point you would think it would spark something in him to want one himself. So, like I would have liked to have seen more of an indication of Tim being like going to pursue his dream or something.
Yeah. Because it was really Pikachu's story. It was Pikachu who was having an emotional problem throughout the movie. By trying to figure out what his past is, thinking that he's betrayed his trainer or the detective, learning that's not the case, learning that he can fight back. Tim was important to the story, but he didn't have an emotional journey as Pikachu did.
Yeah.
Which, to me, I think is a good moment to speak about the future of this franchise because I'm assuming it's going to be a franchise. The movie.
I'm going to go on record as saying this. We shat on the movie a little bit. I'm going to 100% say this. I hope that Detective Pikachu, the movie, branches off into its own, even Marvel's MCU-like franchise, because I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. And this could be coming from the casual Pokemon fan, yeah, but like, I thoroughly had fun watching this, and I wanted to see more. I sat in the theater hoping that there was an end credit scene. That's how much I enjoyed this movie. Like, I mean, you could say it's, oh, you're just spoiled by Marvels. I'll be honest with you, I didn't really care for too many of the Marvel movies. So I just really like end credit scenes, period. And I was hoping for one. I was hoping for one that would give me a, like, inkling, just a clue, just something that tells me I'm going to get another one of these.
I liked how they didn't try to, like, you know, movies these days, they try to focus on making a cinematic universe. So here's the first movie of this awesome cinematic movie, and it flops. I'm glad they didn't do that. They said they are planning to make this like a cinematic movie, but I'm glad they...
Like, what was that one movie?
The Mummy?
The
Mummy?
No, not The Mummy. There was a movie. The movie with the little movie Walking Cities. Like, it's like take places on the...
I know what you're talking about, but I forgot the name of it. Where they have like these machines, and they wanted to make a cinematic universe of it, and they completely flopped.
Yeah, they wanted to do like 8 movies,
yeah,
but no one cared about the first movie.
John Carter is another movie like that.
John Carter,
and Mars, they only made 1 movie, and it completely flopped, so they never made the next 2.
Yeah.
And the Divergent series, they tried to divide the 3rd book into 2 movies, but they never released the last one. So basically, we only got part 1 of the last movie. Or what should have been the last movie. But this is my question about the Pokemon movie. Pikachu is now separated. It's the normal Pikachu that cannot speak, and the father.
Mortal Engine, it's called Mortal Engine.
So where do we go from here? Because that Pikachu is no longer speaking.
Yes, yeah. And there's going to be a cop-out if you decide to just fuse Harry and Pikachu into one again and have...
And it wouldn't make narrative sense.
Yeah, it not make sense.
How can we make a sequel out of this? That's for me the big question. How do we make Detective Pikachu 2 without the father being inside Pikachu again?
What I can recommend is, like, let's not make a Detective Pikachu 2, but instead let's focus on something else within the Pokemon world. Yeah. They did express some sort of, well, I forgot, Rob Letterman, right? The director?
Yeah.
Expressed, like, he might want to do a movie based on the original game, Red's Adventure. Which, honestly, I still think that that's something only you could do animated. Live action.
No,
I hope no.
I have a different suggestion.
All right, shoot.
How about this? Okay, so the next Pokemon live action movie. What if it's his own spin on the original anime? So instead of Red. Instead of having a nameless, like, basically nameless, voiceless, like, personality-less character, we have Ash Ketchum, a character that even the most casual of fans will know. So we get a live-action depiction of him, and then when we get to the point of, like, you know, and it doesn't have to be exactly like the anime. It could just be kind of like, you know, his starting off journey or whatever, and instead of like at the end it being just kind of like, oh, you know, Elite Four, whatever, blah blah blah, then we find out, you know, Tim himself did become a Pokemon trainer. Now the next movie can follow Tim's little journey as being a Pokemon trainer, and then after that, the biggest culmination that we get is Tim versus Ash at some point in the cinematic universe. But, like, of course, you would have to have, like, at least the 2 movies, or at least even just one movie that builds them both up as being, like, really good trainers. So, you know, then you have 2 characters that you would want to see go against each other. Because, I don't know, I feel like right now, like, even if they do put Ash in a movie, I think at that point it would kind of take some of the shine off of Tim as a character because Tim is kind of a character. If you didn't play Detective Pikachu, you don't know who he is. But this would be a good chance for the movies, because it already started it, but there'll be a good chance for the movie itself to branch off from the Detective Pikachu, like, video game brand. Like,
I think there's one possible way of solving this problem. But have Tim as the next character, give him the Pikachu from his father, but maybe they create some technology that you can actually speak with the Pokemon. Like he got a prototype where he can understand the Pikachu, and now the Pikachu can speak to him. Like before, except it's not his dad anymore. And the Pikachu has memories of what happened before. Then we can continue having this Pikachu as Ryan Reynolds, following his own path with Tim.
Well, if you want to go that route and you just want to find a way to get Ryan Reynolds to keep being Pikachu.
Who else would it be?
Yeah, I mean...
That's one of the main reasons people wanted to see this too.
I'll be honest, yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That's the main reason why I watched it.
I was going to say right now, like, Ash has already been developed too much to be made into a movie, so I'll say we could keep with the idea, but we could put a brand new character.
Literally every Marvel character.
We could have
every DC character.
We could have Ash as the final villain. You know, maybe he goes to the tournament and he has to fight Ash.
Oh, that would be actually better than what I said because of the fact you don't have to actually have Ash come into have his own movie. You can just have him show up inside of Tim's story.
Yeah.
Oh, they could just also just put Ash in the cameo just like they kind of did with Red and Detective Pikachu. Or at least someone that is resembling a lot like Red when they had the little Pokemon battle. There was this trainer that was dressed with a red hat, almost with a red vest. That's supposed to be like a reference to the player.
Yeah,
character.
and the
I just totally forgot about that.
And then you can have a Pikachu versus Pikachu in the final.
Yeah.
No, Ash's Pikachu versus Tim's Pikachu. Yeah. That would be a good way to end it. And have Tim lose because, why not? Let Ash have a victory.
Have Ash finally get a victory. He took him not being the main character to win, but he finally did it, guys.
That's still BS and XYZ.
Oh, man. I don't even watch Pokemon. I'm still mad about that.
Yeah.
Right.
That was both XYZ and Sinnoh because the writer was too lazy to think of a way to make Ash lose.
You mean to make Ash win?
Or no, because they made Ash too powerful in the Sinnoh League, so they said, hey, we need to make him lose. Let's make a character that has all legendary Pokemon.
Oh, that was it? That's why he has all that?
That's why he lost, because...
this guy had
Latios and the Darkrai.
Well, I knew that. I didn't know that was the reason why. I thought it was just for marketing, just to have those Pokemon in.
No, they need a reason for Ash to lose.
Oh my god, that's not...
None of that makes any sense.
I'm mad about...
A Darkrai movie from one of the... A Darkrai Pokemon that comes from a movie suddenly under some random's control. And no explanation whatsoever why this person has a Darkrai.
The cartoon movies are not canon.
And the thing is, like... Ash was very confident he was actually using Pokemon that goes against Darkrai, or he has a team to counter Darkrai.
And which pisses me off that finally Ash learns that typing matters, and he still loses. Like, why do I want to follow his story then? Because it's like he's supposed to be becoming the very best.
I stopped following his story after the Kanto League. Once I saw that he lost really early on, I was like, why would I follow a protagonist that just loses all the time?
Like,
no, I mean, at that point he didn't lose all the time, but why follow a loser? I want to see somebody that at least gets far.
Yeah, I want to see... I've heard the argument that, if he wins, there's nothing to cheer for because he'll already be a Pokemon Master. Well, that's the thing. If you want me to go back and watch Pokemon, if you want me to cheer for this person... you need for him to win. I need to see him as the champion once in a while. Think about it like this. Look, again, I'm bringing up wrestling. When you want to build up a top star, when you want to build a wrestler as being not a mid-carder, but a main eventer, they have to have, being in contention for championships. They have to have won the championship. They have to prove their mettle, basically. If you want the crowd to cheer for them, you can't just have them keep losing. Because after a while, no one's going to want to see them because they're like, well, I already know they're going to lose. It's the same, it's a very, it's a very delicate recipe. Like, you can't have them win too much, you can't have them lose too much. After a while, and I watched the final episodes of that season, and I looked at like a lot of the comments. A lot of people have gotten exacerbated, and I really don't really feel like watching the next, if there is a next series after that, because they got tired of going through a whole season and watching Ash progress.
They will make a new season. If they made it 7 times for him to lose every single time.
No, I mean, well, I don't think Sun and Moon doesn't follow the typical story.
Which is even more of a reason why. Okay,
I know, but XYZ also made it a bit horrible because not only is Ash thinking using type advantage, but he's also has an Uber Pokemon, or not Uber, but
his own Mega Evolution just for Ash.
No, not just a Mega Evolution. He also got what you call those Pokemon that like Dragonite, Metagross?
Pseudo Legendary?
Pseudo Legendary. He has his own Pseudo Legendary on the team as well.
That Gui Pokemon.
Gudra.
Gudra, yes.
He had a full evolved dragon. 2 dragons!
That was probably the best things I've seen with Ash, and then they make
and then they jobbed him out.
They jobbed him out to this one...
To this character who's never going to show up again.
And he
the
doesn't...
winners never play a part in another season. They just win, and then they're gone.
Disappear forever.
No, it's worse because that was like the finals. He made it to the finals.
Yeah.
And not only that... The Charizard took a lot of damage, and he was doing one damage. He was doing a lot. Greninja was doing a lot of damage, but it just takes one not super effective hit.
Didn't even have to be that. Ash had dominated that fight.
Yeah, he dominated the fight.
That ending was just the creators trying to send a big FU to Ash and the audience. That's pretty much what it was.
That's pretty much it.
The only thing Ash is going to get out of that season was that he got a girlfriend.
It's
that's
almost
not Mystic.
Like having a whole Money in the Bank match and then having Brock Lesnar run out to win. Man, it's almost as if somebody would be dumb enough to think that was a good booking decision. Man.
And look, if you want to...
I wonder.
If you want Ash to lose, look, this is established in anime. Once you become the champion, you get to fight the Elite Four. If you want Ash to lose, make him lose against Elite Four.
Also, and that's another thing. Because Ash has lost so many times, we have been like denied what could be epic battles between him and the Elite Four.
There's no point having the Elite Four in the anime if Ash is never gonna fight them.
Yeah, like it's a tease. I want to see Ash succeed, and like you know what, the thing that kind of sucks is that like that could have been like we don't know what the next generation is gonna be like in terms of like tournaments and badges and all that, but we do know that the Sun and Moon era doesn't have the same layout, so that could have been Ash's chance, for all we know, to finally get a win, to finally become the champion using the old layout that we know him for, like to like the one that we've seen him travel up. Like it was his chance to actually show us he can like do it at the end of the day. Now, I mean, like, would it really matter if he could beat all the Kahunas? I wouldn't personally care because they're basically just gym leaders, and he showed that he could beat the gym leaders. Like, after that, are they gonna actually make a tournament so that he could fight to see if he's gonna fight the Elite Four?
I don't know. I stopped following after.
I'm not following it out whatsoever. There's no point for me to follow it.
I only follow it if I hear like there's good things happening wrong, like going on with it.
Which almost never happens.
But we got way off topic now, so
yeah,
let's get back to Detective
Let's
Pikachu.
get back to the movie.
Yes, that anime just makes us rage.
Yeah, there's our 15 minutes of off topic, guys.
Possibly longer, maybe.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else we need to say about this movie?
I could give you like point on like what actually happened in the game if you guys care. Like, I could tell you, like, Charizard actually played a big important part instead of just being this henchman who was given drugs.
Actually, I would like to know how a lot of the plot differed.
Yeah.
Okay, so for one thing, Tim Goodman never wanted to be like a Pokemon trainer and all that stuff. He's just like, there. Yeah, I'm here because I was told my dad was missing. Two, yeah, Pikachu actually did lose his memory and all that stuff, but he keeps in contact with Mewtwo.
Really?
Yeah,
Secret.
no, he did tell him like, yeah, I was over there talking to Mewtwo while you were busy dating this one chick. I'm calling it dating because I call that dating.
Okay.
Even though you deny you're dating this one reporter chick.
I wouldn't count that as dating, but go on.
I know. No, that's what Pikachu actually says. Also, Mewtwo was never captured. The whole R thing came about because some scientists wanted to find like some cure for an illness, and they thought they had Mew Cell, but instead they got Mewtwo Cell, which has like a Berserker gene into it. And I think some guy stole it and wanted to use it to like take over the world and make money and makes him more powerful, which is, like I said, Roger Clifford. Howard Clifford never existed in the game. So Mewtwo attacks Pikachu to like go and find all of his cells so no one can use it to make art anymore. Yes. And that's actually what R was used for.
So far, I'm liking the movie plot a bit more.
Yeah, that's what R was used for. R is basically used to make Pokemon Go's Berserk.
Yeah.
But in the game it's used so this one guy can use his news company to broadcast Pokemon Go to Wild so he could gain more influence. And then actually found another way to make R a little bit more useful by making the Pokemon Go Berserk and still have control of knowing who's their partner is. In the movie, that's kind of a little bit different because all it does is make Pokemon Go Berserk, but there's that little time split where you could use Mewtwo power to fuse Pokemon and humans together. Lucy never existed in the game, but Lucy does replace two female characters that was important to plot. One was a reporter and one was a camera woman. So there's that. There's multiple like fillers episodes going there that
which makes sense for that game.
Yeah.
Gameplay.
As for the Charizard, like I said, Charizard in the movie is just some random good thugs Pokemon. Here's some drugs, go beat up that Pikachu. Wow. Charizard in the game, he was just some guardian of these little Pokemon that does parades in this park until one day the people who was carrying R put like a bit of R into the balloon and then use his Pokemon to pop it, make Charizard go crazy, and Charizard was locked up ever since. So he was like the first victim of R.
I'll be honest, I kind of like the underground pit fighter Charizard a little bit.
So I'm liking the movie plot.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that the plot of the movie is much better than the game.
Which is odd to say. Can we say that again? Can we all three just say that one more time each? I'll start. The plot in the movie was better than in the game. Go ahead.
Yeah, the plot of the movie sounds much better than the game.
Right.
The plot of the movie has a conclusion, and then in the cliff note, and does make the movie much better than the game.
And this is probably a first in history.
Yeah,
that's usually not the case ever.
I want you guys, audience. Look, I'm sitting up closer. I want you to sit up close, and just talking to the speaker or headphones, or we don't have to actually hear you. Just talk into something and tell yourself. And tell us, just say it, even if you don't fully believe it. Just say the plot in the movie is actually probably better than the game. And why? I mean, because even if you don't believe it, even if you personally are watching and say, oh, I don't believe the plot was that much better, there's a chance that it's a debatable thing. This is debatable. This is something that could be debatable. This is actually objective. The fact that, like, the plot is possibly better than the game, or even like we haven't had a video game movie where the plot is even as good as the game, and now we have one where people can sit up here and say that it's possible that the plot is better than the game. Like, it's amazing.
That should not happen usually.
I mean, you guys are complaining how Tim does not have a conclusion. Game, there's no conclusion to Harry. He doesn't appear. You still stick with Talking Pikachu and Talking Pikachu say, okay, we're done solving R. Now let's go find Harry. The end.
See, like,
that's not really
even though although there are hints that Harry and Pikachu are views, there's hints of it, and Mewtwo just say like, oh, Pikachu made a decision. It's up to you now to find your father because he's still alive, blah blah blah.
You see, like,
that's a bad ending.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I mean, I guess it leaves it open for another video game, but the movie is left open for another movie, but also it has a conclusion that could be conclusive.
Yeah.
Like, it's really fun, it's refreshing, and it's nice to actually say that I watched a video game movie and I didn't just get the chance to just meme it out and laugh at it for being bad, because it was actually decent.
Yeah, it's not getting the Game of Thrones treatment.
Oh yeah,
so much memes out of it right now.
For Game of Thrones.
For Game of Thrones. That hurts me in the heart. It really hurts me.
I'm not too hurt by it. I wasn't watching it. I'm probably gonna get into it now that it's over, but I just kind of laugh because it's kind of funny. See people for like what?
9 years.
9 seasons? So yeah, 9 years?
8 seasons, but 9 years.
8 seasons, but 9 years. There you go.
They took 2 years for the last season.
You see people who were dedicated for 9 years, and at the end of the 9th year, they're just kind of like, what is this shit that you've presented to me? Why did you just bend over and shit on my dinner plate when I said I was hungry? Like, why did you do that? And I'm just standing up here like, ha, they did that.
Now, having said that, there are some things that they did right. Like, I think this was going to be too much, but R was actually distributed in 3 different forms instead of just being some gas in the air. Like, it's also gas, but it's also take on liquid form, where you could feed it to Pokemon and make them go berserk. And there's like a little capsule where it targets certain Pokemon and make them go berserk. So
I like it in the movie more because it's simplified.
Simplified.
There's no need to have it like that. I mean, the game probably because you want to lengthen the gameplay, right? But
yeah.
For movie purposes,
I thought it was a very good, super villainy way of doing it, because the way they were going to distribute it is like the most super villain thing. Like, I was sitting there trying to think, I've seen this happen before, and I remember where it happened in. It similarly happened in one of the Batman movies where the Joker released gas.
The Tim Burton Batman.
Yeah. So it's like, it's really like, that was the most super villain thing ever, which for me, the movie was so campy that it worked. Like, the movie, because it was nice, the movie didn't take itself seriously. So when you get to a semi-serious thing like that, and it's just this kind of like cartoon villainy way of doing things, you're like, oh, okay, cool. This still is in line with what the thematic point of the movie was. I don't know. I just thought it was a really good way of doing it.
They did have a parade in the game, but unlike the movie, the main characters actually put a stop to the whole mass thingamajiggy. Before it's like, oh, there's one more thing that they have to stop, and there's the climax. Pikachu never fought Mewtwo.
Yeah, they were allies, right?
Yeah, they were allies. Mewtwo was never caught, so
I like the way they did. I like the way they did in the movie because it was epic. Because it did the whole thing, I forget what the law is called, but when you're making a story, when you show a gun, it has to go off within the next few pages. We saw that, Pikachu was like struggling, remember how to use his powers. So you knew at some point in this movie, Pikachu has to do something. He has to use an attack. And I knew it was going to be, what was that move that Tim kept saying to use?
Volt Tackle.
Volt Tackle. I knew it was going to be Volt Tackle that was going to be kind of his magnum opus because, when they brought it up, it was the one move that he told him to do by name, and Pikachu had a reason why he didn't want to do it and everything. But like when he actually did it in the movie, it's like, oh, there goes Volt Tackle, he's doing it. It was like, and the fight was just epic. Like for a movie that held off on giving us any actual Pokemon fights and waited till the end to give us any type of Pokemon fight. And let's be honest, like if that wasn't a Smash Bros. Reference, I don't know what is. They were fighting on Pokeflow. They were fighting on Pokeflow.
Okay.
And Pikachu kind of like had to like up B to get back on stage.
Okay, two things. One, the game actually did that too, where they put the gun on the table and it shot off. But instead of Volt Tackle, it was Thunderbolt.
Oh.
Where like Tim said, use Thunderbolt, and Pikachu's like, you don't command me by that way. I cannot do Thunderbolt. And at the end, he actually did Thunderbolt on Roger Clifford. Second, darn it, I just lost my thought.
There's no second point.
How did you feel about the romance?
Like
that could be the last.
Does it even count as a romance? See, to me, it seemed very one-sided.
It's just one-sided.
Yeah, but at the end, they kind of sort of hook up.
Did they go? I mean, are we reading too much into what she's? I mean, I guess they wanted us to read too much into her expressions, but she didn't really say anything.
Yeah, I don't know. Like again, that's kind of why I asked, like, how did y'all feel about it? Because I assume it being a movie, I assume that was supposed to be the romance.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be the romance. The movie made it seem like it was a romance, but I didn't see anything romantic between them. There was no chemistry.
Yeah, there was. I didn't feel
it was
either.
More. It was more about him being extremely awkward with her. Yeah. And I didn't see anything from her showing.
And honestly, I didn't even feel like it was like a romance on his part. Even I just feel like it was just kind of like Pikachu like teasing him about it being a girl.
It was at the very last scene when they were saying goodbye that it seemed like they were flirting. That
seemed like a flirtatious
that was a little bit.
That's the same thing. Well, sorry.
I was just gonna say, if they're gonna give them a romance, it could be waiting until the next movie, or it could have been like a nod to like all of Ash's romantic endeavors, where it's like, oh, Ash is clearly gonna be with this character, and it's like, no, he actually doesn't care. Neither do they. Except or even if they do, he just doesn't care. Like, maybe it was a nod to that because they knew the way they made it, people were going to see it as a romance. But I never felt like it was a romance. And I'm sorry to the director if you were intending for us to be like, no, yeah, they totally smash at the end of the movie. I just didn't see it at all. I didn't see it throughout the whole movie. I didn't see. The most I saw out of it was just Tim was an awkward person.
Yeah.
And he was awkward around a pretty-ish girl. So, I don't know.
I didn't see anything from her that she liked him. In the very last scene, I think so, but it was mostly because of body language and tone of voice more than anything else.
Yeah. At the same time, it kind of you went through a life or death situation with somebody. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're into each other. They'd be like, hey, we cheated death, right? Yeah, let's go get coffee. Or some shit. Like, it was really, like, not really defined. But again, it's a kid's movie. Maybe they didn't want to go as far as, like, adding the complexity of a relationship.
Yeah, same thing with the game. It's like, there was no chemistry between Tim and Emilia, that's her name in the game, not Lucy. Mm-hmm. Because Pikachu's the one who keeps pushing him. He's like, no, that's not it. I'm just...
Yeah, and that's what it felt like in the movie. It was Pikachu being like, oh, look at her, she's pretty. Go for it, dude.
Yeah, that was Pikachu trying to say, hey, I'm going to hit on them now.
It seemed more like Pikachu wanted to hit on her than the other way around. Yeah.
They did get the coffee right.
Oh, so he is addicted to coffee in the game?
Yeah, they played him more in the game than in the movie.
It seemed like they played it really heavily in the movie, though.
Yeah. It was I'm going to be honest, it was kind of a cute court. Like, Pikachu's just like, oh, I'm sorry, coffee. It's hot. He really liked his coffee.
He needs all that caffeine to do what he does.
Yeah, it's so great. I thought it was great.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts?
I think it was a decent movie. I
Yeah.
hope there's a sequel.
Yeah, I can't believe we finally got a decent video game movie.
They actually did talk about like before the movie was released, they were working on a sequel. So we are definitely getting a sequel.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
so
I
please.
hope it happens. 2 years from now.
Franchise.
Make it happen.
Because the Marvel movie franchise is about to go down the drain. So you
I'm
guys
done with
do
Marvel.
it.
I'm
Come
happy
on.
with Endgame
Come
and I
on.
want to end it here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, Smash Bros. Universe. Let's go. we already got Pikachu. We're getting Sonic. Let's go. We're
Wait,
gonna
they
have
also-
Smash
Sonic,
Bros.
though.
Universe.
For Sonic right now, it's on life support.
Right now,
Hey man.
he's living his Genesis days right now. Well, his
Genesis days?
his
No, he's
late,
not.
his
No,
late.
he is not.
No, the very late Genesis.
Genesis days were the good days.
He's living his 2006 on
Yeah,
the
he's living
life.
2006.
No,
He's
what I
living
mean,
his
no.
PS2
When you
days.
said life support, I was thinking about when the Genesis, you need to put in the CD,
No.
and the 32X
No,
put, and then
because
put all the core on
the Genesis game was still good. Doesn't
Sonic-
matter all that.
Sonic
Just
1,
life
Sonic
support
2,
Sonic
3,
is
and
2006 and down Sonic.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, then 2006.
Like this is right now, he's still 2006 Sonic, but we could get at least Sonic Adventures 2 Battle Sonic.
I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
We also have confirmed that Illumination Production is making a Mario movie.
Oh.
See, Smash Bros. Universe. I'm telling you,
A Mario
it's
movie?
happening.
Okay.
And there was also rumor about Netflix Legend of Zelda series.
Smash Bros. Universe. Look at
Make it
that.
happen.
See,
Make it
they're gonna do a live action Smash Bros. Movie, guys. Master Hand and Crazy Hand as the final boss. No, the final boss is gonna be actually. I was gonna say Hideo Kojima. It's gonna actually be
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Miyamoto. He's gonna just be the final boss. That's gonna be the end game. He's just gonna be like, I can erase half of you guys. he just literally like snaps, and then the branch of the production company that takes care of those are shut down.
Who'll come and save them? Sakurai?
Huh?
Who'll come save them? Sakurai?
Yeah, Sakurai's gonna be Justice Cap tomorrow. No. Actually, no. Even better. It's gonna be Joker.
Persona is a whole lot of
they're
series you could talk about.
Like they're gonna make
Yeah.
the Persona 5 movie, and everybody's gonna be, oh, that's cool, Persona 5 movie. And at the end of the Persona 5 movie, Joker's gonna get like a letter in his like mailbox, or the like his uncle. Is that his uncle?
No, just some guy.
Oh, the guy who takes care of him. He's gonna be like, hey kid, there's a letter for you here. I told you about getting your mail sent to my house. And he's gonna grab it, he's gonna have the smash symbol, and then he's gonna open it, and all he's gonna say is, we need your help. And then it's gonna end. That's the end credit scene for the Persona 5 movie.
You know, I like the idea. I actually was thinking about like how Persona can actually be a live action movie and doesn't have to just be Japan based. It could be American. It could take place in America, like
Yeah.
how
You can get
Death
the same
Note,
concept.
how Death Note was.
Yeah.
But I'll be quiet because there's still people saying that Death Note is a horrible movie, and I don't agree
like
with that.
I like it.
I like
It was
Death
good.
Note. I thought it was decent.
So-
It wasn't the best. I'll put it like this. It was a Netflix movie, so I wasn't expecting too... Oh, I did not mean to do that. I was not expecting too much from it, because it was a Netflix movie. But I thought it was pretty good for a Netflix movie.
It did, Joe.
It did,
Yeah.
it did its job.
I'm okay
Like,
with it.
one of the scenes that everybody complains about in that movie is the scene where, like Light Yagami screams when he sees Ryuk. Because in the anime, he was like edgelord and he wasn't scared. And he was like, yeah, oh, this is... No.
It makes
I
sense.
guarantee you, as a person, if you walk into a room by yourself and some freaky stitched together monster man is like, hey, and he screams, like, says your name in his little raspy voice. He's like Yagami, together we can rule the world.
And it will not matter how smart you are.
Like,
You're gonna
you
pick up.
will freak the fuck out. Like, I know smart people who have recanted stories of possible ghost sightings, and in their stories, they've always freaked the fuck out. Being smart doesn't mean that you're not scared.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a very realistic response, and it made me laugh because I remember how he responded in the anime compared to that. And I don't know. Comedy is hard to explain, but it's really funny because I wasn't expecting him to get scared like that. And it made me laugh just seeing it happen. It was a good scene. I will argue that till my grave. It was a good scene. The movie wasn't that bad. The whole him and what's her name, Misa, or
whatever the character that's supposed to be based on Misa.
The character who was supposed to be Misa, I forget her name, but like that, she didn't really matter too much.
Supposedly, the Misa character was supposed to be both Misa and the psychotic. In the psychotic version of Light. Light Turner was supposed to be like Yagami before he got crazy.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts for you?
Anyway, back to the Pikachus.
I definitely enjoyed the movie. I was hoping to go watch it again before this video.
You can still watch it.
I can still watch it. I just won't give my second opinion. I just hope I don't just go back and try to criticize every little thing I can find.
I wouldn't see a problem with that if you think it will work.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was it, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Like I'll say the story's basic, but it's a good for a first go on a Pokemon video.
If you want to try to adapt a movie and you're unsure of how the quality is going to come out, easy. Just get a big name star like Ryan Reynolds or Jim Carrey. Should be easy. Should lead to success.
And get people to animate it that actually care about the franchise.
Yeah. Go hire DeviantArt people. I don't understand.
And also get people that knows their stuff about the series.
Also, have the trailer music probably done by a franchise. Have the trailer song maybe a song associated with the franchise already. Which was kind of like, like how Pokemon did. They had the Pokemon movie. Yeah, they had I'm a hero, but it worked. Gangster's Paradise has nothing to do with Sonic. There, actually, I said it.
I showed you a video. I don't know if you guys clicked it. I tagged you on it.
I didn't see it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, no. You have to watch this video. I'm gonna find it again.
Okay,
Antonio De Caro.
Yeah.
You guys don't care about this yet.
Okay, we'll just sign off right now.
We'll do another talk about Sonic.
Sonic. We'll talk about like maybe in a couple more months.
Yeah, that's a sneak preview. So you don't get to know what we're going to talk about next.
So we'll talk about in the next 4 months.
We're clocking out.
Yeah.
We're done.
So from Professor Toasty and me, Linkero, this has been The Talk. I don't know.
The Talk is fine.
That is a weak name, but I'll take it. Let's go.
All right.
I'm ready to go to
see you guys later.
Let's go get food, guys.
All right. Bye.